Welcome back, loved ones. Today we're going to continue our journey throughout the Holy Bible in Genesis chapter 31. Um, I went through this chapter, and there's a lot that we can learn from this chapter. So if you can, please go ahead, sit back, relax, and let us continue.
Genesis chapter 31. And he heard the words of Laban's son, saying,
Jacob hath taken away all that was our father's, and of that which was our father's hath he gotten all this glory.
And Jacob beheld the countenance of Laban, and behold, it was not toward him as before.
Now, wait a minute, everybody. Before we continue on, I'm going to be pressing these little asterisks that you guys may understand what is that particular means when it says, and behold, it was not towards him as before. Some of you guys may be smart enough to know that. Some of us are not.
And the Lord said unto Jacob,
Return unto the land of thy fathers and to thy kindred, and I will be with thee.
And Jacob sent and called Rachel and Leah to the field unto his flock, and said unto them,
I see your father's countenance, that it is not toward me as before. But the God of my father hath been with me. And ye know that with all my power I have served your father. And your father hath deceived me, and changed my wages 10 times. But God suffered him not to hurt me. If he said thus, The speckled shall be thy wages, then all the cattle bear speckled. And if he said thus, The ringstraked shall be thy hire, then bear all the cattle ringstraked.
Now wait a minute. We have Jacob explaining himself to his wives, right? And letting them know that he has been deceived by his father 10 times. They may not have known this, but he is explaining this to the daughters of this man, which is their father, right? And he's saying that he changed his wages 10 times. This man was basically using Jacob. This is what I'm noticing here. This man was using Jacob and using him and basically abusing him in a certain way, as we would call it today, right? He was doing whatever he wanted. And we got a lot of people out there today that when we go to work for somebody, we can put as much effort as we can, but yet these people will still try to use you and abuse you, as we see here in Genesis chapter 31.
Thus God hath taken away the cattle of your father, and given them to me. And it came to pass at that time that the cattle conceived, that I lifted up mine eyes, and saw in a dream, and behold, the rams which leaped upon the cattle were ringstraked, speckled, and grizzled. And the angel of God spake unto me in a dream, saying, Jacob. And I said,
Here I am.
Here am I. And he said, Lift up now thine eyes, and see, all the rams which leap upon the cattle are ringstraked, speckled, and grizzled. For I have seen all that Laban doeth unto thee.
Now, before we continue, everybody, this is a messenger. This angel is a messenger of the Lord. So when we see, for I have seen, right, we can also see that it was God, because again, this angel is a messenger of the Lord, and the angel is basically saying, this is what God is saying. I have seen all that Laban doeth unto thee, right?
I am the God of Bethel, where thou anointest a pillar, and where thou vowedest a vow unto me. Now arise, get thee out from this land, and return unto the land of thy kindred.
Now wait a minute, everybody. This is where I get confused at, and maybe you guys have better insight of actually what's going on here, right? He said, I am the God of Bethel, right? Again, this is an angel of the Lord, and I'm considering the angel of the Lord speaking from like God's point of view. He's like, I am the God of the Lord. Now, when I first read this chapter, I thought it was like maybe this angel was the God of Ethel. We have different gods that people worship, but there's only one. And as we go throughout the Bible, there's only one true God. So I don't think that this chapter 31, verse 13 is saying that this angel is the God of Bethel. It is God that's speaking through this angel that's saying, I am the God of Bethel.
And Rachel and Leah answered and said unto him,
Is there yet any portion or inheritance for us in our father's house? Are we not counted of him strangers? For he hath sold us, and hath quite devoured also our money.
For all the riches which God hath taken from our father, that is ours and our children's. Now then, whatsoever God hath said unto thee, do.
Then Jacob rose up and set his sons and his wives upon camels. And he carried away all his cattle and all his goods which he had gotten, the cattle of his getting, which he had gotten in Padan Aram, for to go to Isaac his father in the land of Canaan. And Laban went to shear his sheep, and Rachel had stolen the images that were her father's.
Now wait a minute, everybody. We got to remember that Rachel and Leah are the daughters of Laban, right? But according to Genesis chapter 31, verse 19, this man had images. And according to this aspect here, a household idol, right? So this man had gods that he was worshiping. He wasn't worshiping God. He was worshiping idols, is what I'm considering here, right? So as we continue on, we're going to see that, well, let's just wait for it.
And Jacob stole away unawares to Laban the Syrian, in that he told him not that he fled. So he fled with all that he had, and he rose up and passed over the river, and set his face toward the Mount Gilead. And it was told Laban on the third day that Jacob was fled. And he took his brethren with him, and pursued after him 7 days' journey, and they overtook him in the Mount Gilead. And God came to Laban the Syrian in a dream by night, and said unto him,
Take heed that thou speak not to Jacob either good or bad.
This is amazing to me, right? We got God intervening here, right? This kind of reminds me of a father, right? God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. But right here, I look at this chapter 31, Genesis chapter 31, verse 24, where God is protecting Jacob. Almost like what a father should do, right? You guys leave your comments, thoughts, opinions, and your interpretation of how you interpret the word of God in the comments below. I would like to hear them.
Then Laban overtook Jacob. Now Jacob had pitched his tent in the mount, and Laban with his brethren pitched in the mount of Gilead. And Laban said to Jacob,
What hast thou done, that thou hast stolen away unawares to me, and carried away my daughters as captives taken with the sword?
This man is crazy, right? Laban is out of control. He see all the blessings of Jacob, and now he want to claim these blessings, even though Laban is serving other gods, and God is blessing Jacob. This man want to take all that Jacob has and claim it as his own, when we already know that Jacob had done many things to acquire these things in which he has, right? The blessings of God. Laban serving other gods, trying to take the blessings of God from Jacob. This is what I see. You let me know.
Wherefore didst thou flee away secretly, and steal away from me, and didst not tell me that I might have sent thee away with mirth, and with songs, with tabret, and with harp? And hast not suffered me to kiss my sons and my daughters? Thou hast now done foolishly in so doing. It is in the power of my hand to do you hurt. But the God of your father spake unto me yesternight, saying, Take thou heed that thou speak not to Jacob either good or bad. And now, though thou wouldst needs be gone, because thou sore longest after thy father's house, yet wherefore hast thou stolen my gods?
And Jacob answered and said to Laban,
Because I was afraid, for I said, Peradventure thou wouldest take by force thy daughters from me. With whomsoever thou findest thy gods, let him not live. Before our brethren, discern thou what is thine with me, and take it to thee.
for Jacob knew not that Rachel had stolen them.
Now wait a minute. We got Rachel. I believe she's the youngest daughter of Laban, and we got Rachel stealing these gods that they may have been worshiping. It don't say that they was worshiping, but they was considered to be gods. So I'm thinking that they was probably worshiping these gods. Now I'm looking at Rachel, right? And I'm looking like, okay, we got two people. We got the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and then we got this God which Rachel has stolen. We got two people that are serving two different gods, right? That are married. This is what I'm seeing. We got two different people that are serving two different gods, right? They married though, right? Why would Rachel steal these images, which are considered to be gods, right? Why would she do this if she wasn't planning on serving these gods, right? You let me know what you think in the comments. I would like to hear it.
And Laban went into Jacob's tent, and into Leah's tent, and into the two maidservants' tents. But he found them not. Then went he out of Leah's tent, and entered into Rachel's tent. Now Rachel had taken the images, and put them in the camel's furniture, and sat upon them. And Laban searched all the tent, but found them not. And she said to her father,
Let it not displease my lord, that I cannot rise up before thee, for the custom of women is upon me.
And he searched, but found not the images. And Jacob was wroth, and chode with Laban. And Jacob answered and said to Laban,
What is my trespass? What is my sin that thou hast so hotly pursued after me? Whereas thou hast searched all my stuff, what hast thou found of all thy household stuff? Set it here before my brethren and thy brethren, that they may judge betwixt us both. This 20 years have I been with thee. Thy ewes and thy she-goats have not cast their young, and the rams of thy flock have I not eaten. That which was torn of beasts I brought not unto thee. I bear the loss of it. Of my hand didst thou require it, whether stolen by day or stolen by night. Thus I was. In the day the drought consumed me, and the frost by night, and my sleep departed from mine eyes. Thus have I been 20 years in thy house. I served thee 14 years for thy 2 daughters, and 6 years for thy cattle, and thou hast changed my wages 10 times. Except the God of my father, the God of Abraham, and the fear of Isaac had been with me, surely thou hadst sent me away now empty. God hath seen mine affliction and the labor of my hands, and rebuked thee yesternight.
And Laban answered and said unto Jacob,
These daughters are my daughters, and these children are my children, and these cattle are my cattle, and all that thou seest is mine. And what can I do this day unto these my daughters, or unto their children which they have borne?
Now wait a minute, everybody. See how the way that Laban is speaking? These are mine. Everything that you have, Jacob, is mine, right? This is what he's saying. Jacob working hard for everything that he has acquired, and you have this man, which is the truth. These are his daughters, these are his grandchildren, right? He said that these are his cattle and everything, but they already came to an agreement that he would take all the bad of the cattle and the sheep and all that, and that's what he would take while feeding his sheep and all his other animals. So now we got Abraham working hard for all that he has acquired by working for it, and you have Laban, which is his supposed to be uncle, right? This is a family affair. His uncle, which is trying to take everything that he has worked for.
Their children which they have borne? Now therefore come thou, let us make a covenant, I and thou, and let it be for a witness between me and thee.
And Jacob took a stone and set it up for a pillar. And Jacob said unto his brethren,
Gather stones.
And they took stones and made an heap, and they did eat there upon the heap. And Laban called it Jegar-sahadutha, but Jacob called it Galeed. And Laban said,
This heap is a witness between me and thee this day.
Therefore was the name of it called Galeed. And Mizpah, for he said,
The Lord watch between me and thee, when we are absent one from another. If thou shalt afflict my daughters, or if thou shalt take other wives beside my daughters, no man is with us. See, God is witness betwixt me and thee.
And Laban said to Jacob,
Behold this heap, and behold this pillar, which I have cast betwixt me and thee. This heap be witness, and this pillar be witness, that I will not pass over this heap to thee, and thou shalt not pass over this heap and this pillar unto me for harm. The God of Abraham and the God of Nahor, the God of their father, judge betwixt us.
And Jacob sware by the fear of his father Isaac.
Now wait a minute, everybody. We got many gods that's here. The God of Jacob, which is the one and true God, right? Then we have the God of Nahor, the God of their fathers. Now I'm looking at the capitalization here. That's the reason why I put these in purple, to make sure that this is God. Now these gods, when I first read this, I thought these gods was other gods, right? But no, there's only one true God, and he was talking about the one true God, the God of Nahor, the God of their fathers, right? And the God of Abraham. So he's talking about the one and true God, right? But we still have Laban trying to be in control of this situation. You see what I'm saying? I mean, if and you can see that today, right? You can see somebody always trying to be in control of something, right?
Then Jacob offered sacrifice upon the mount, and called his brethren to eat bread. And they did eat bread, and tarried all night in the mount. And early in the morning Laban rose up, and kissed his sons and daughters, and blessed them. And Laban departed, and returned unto his place.
So we have a good outcome. Everything went well after the fact that they are agreeing about. And I believe Laban actually took to heart what the Lord has told him. Because the Lord told him, just like a father, he's protecting his child. You do anything, don't say anything good or bad to him. You know what I mean? So I believe Laban actually took that advice, and that's the reason why everything became on good terms between Jacob and Laban. When we come back, everybody, we're going to be in Genesis chapter 32. I hope to see you guys there. And always remember, try to treat others in a way you would like to be treated. Peace.